All right, everyone, this is being recorded. Thank you so much for joining this training today. My name is Paige Hunter. I am the Club Retention Chair in District 55, and I am giving a training today on our new club mentoring and why it matters. We'll cover quite a few topics today, including the official duties of a club mentor, quality club meetings, how to build and maintain membership, how to recognize your members, the early education program, and the distinguished club program. Let's break things down and make it simple. What is a mentor? A mentor is someone who shares their expertise and knowledge with one or more people who have less experience. Mentoring a new Toastmasters club is similar in many ways to mentoring a single person. Mentors are the advisors and tutors for new clubs and have a great effect on the degree to which a new club succeeds. This isn't necessarily an altruistic act, though it can be. You do get some benefits by being a mentor. You get to share your expertise. You can translate values and strategies into productive actions. You can prove yourself as a valuable leader, invest in the future of Toastmasters, obtain fresh perspectives, build teamwork skills, apply your leadership skills in new situations, and earn credit towards your DTM. Appointing members or appointing mentors. Up to 2 new club mentors are appointed by district directors or club growth directors. The mentors' names and mentor numbers should appear on the prospective club's application to organize. Alternately, district directors or club growth directors can submit mentors' names by emailing newclubs@toastmasters.org no later than 60 days from the charter date. Mentors and a charter officer sign and return the Get Credit form to World Headquarters after mentors have completed 6 months of service. All that is to say, you can't start a new club without mentors. It's not a very good idea. This is a team approach, however. When you're creating a new club, you have a lot of advice and assistance from other Toastmasters. A mentor will work with the new club sponsors for a short period of time. A sponsor is a member who is responsible for helping charter a new club, following leads, generating interest and enthusiasm for the new club, recruiting members, submitting all paperwork to World Headquarters, and passing the baton on to the mentors after their responsibilities as sponsors are complete. It's advantageous for you as a club mentor to stay informed about the sponsor's activities with the new club. For example, you can help out with meeting roles during the demonstration meeting, or even during some of the new club's pre-charter meetings. This way, when it's time for you to begin your role, you know the people who are in the club and you know their progress so far. It takes much longer to teach someone how to do something rather than to do it for them. Sharing your knowledge brings lasting benefits and is a large part of being a mentor. For example, a mentor will be consulted for answers to questions like the following: how are the timing rules again? And how can we have a meeting if the president is absent? Also, how do we keep meetings from getting boring? While the answers to the majority of questions can be found in one or more of the many resources published by Toastmasters International, you should be prepared for questions that do not have written answers. Craig, you've served as either an official mentor or an unofficial mentor a few times. What's one of the craziest questions that you've gotten?
Well, I have to be honest with you, I have never gotten a really crazy question. Toastmasters are smart people and they know the right questions to ask. So I can't think of anything really crazy that I've ever been asked. A lot of the challenges, a lot of the questions you are asked as a mentor, you alluded to, what do we do if the president's not here? So mentors help with that. Mentors help with when we see perhaps a meeting going off the rails a little bit and how to bring it back in and how to follow the agenda and making sure that the officers are meeting and that the officers are going through the things we all know we do as officers, the club success plan, all that good stuff. And so it's just guiding them through all of those processes. But no crazy questions yet.
Challenge accepted. You are my unofficial mentor again. What would you say is the most common question that you get as a mentor? What's something that almost everybody has asked you at least once?
How long are table topics again? How long is about our evaluations again? A lot of the, especially at mentoring a club, a lot of the questions again just come to back as Toastmasters. We live and breathe this. If you've been a Toastmaster any length of time, you can go through a meeting kind of in your sleep. But for a new club with new members, it helps to have mentors to make sure that they know that the Toastmaster is in charge of this. And now it's a little different that we're meeting virtually, but it's when we get back to an in-person meeting, Toastmaster is responsible for getting the agenda printed and brought to the meeting and things of that nature. So, excuse me. So those are the large amount of questions are just most common questions are just procedural questions. How do we, why do we need to, and those type of things.
That makes sense. Thinking back on all the times that I've pinged you with a question frantically in the middle of a meeting or going through any of our processes, sometimes you can even forget, as an experienced Toastmaster, how long an evaluation is supposed to be, which I think I did have happen to me on a very bad day. So it's always helpful to have somebody here. Now, we did speak about some of the questions that don't have obvious answers on the Toastmasters International site, and we can go through some of these here. Normally we do a breakout session and let you guys work through it, but since we're a small group today, we can discuss what we think the answers are to the following questions. Can an evaluator require a member to repeat a project if the member did not meet all of the project objectives? What do you think, Jose?
No, an evaluator cannot require officially the person who gave the speech to do it again, but he or she can certainly recommend it. And in fact, that has happened to me on a couple of times where I had to do that, and I explained very clearly why. But I think it really ultimately is up to the VP of Education to force or ask someone to redo the speech. But really, at the end of the day, it's up to each one of us, right? We're all Toastmasters, so most of the speeches and the work that we do is on the honor system, and it's about what we learn, right? So
you're right on track there. The official answer is no. Evaluators are offering their opinions and perceptions of a speech. So like you said, you can take them aside afterwards and point out where they may have missed the mark or not learned the lesson that they were supposed to learn while giving that speech. And eventually it is up to the speaker to decide if they want to listen to the evaluator's advice and try it again. Another question. If a speaker wants more time for a speech than given, can they revise the time with the Vice President of Education's approval? Greg, you recently served as VPE. What do you think?
Yes, I have recently served as VPE. And the answer to that question is absolutely. The Vice President of Education can make adjustments to speech times as requested.
That's interesting. Jose, do you agree?
I agree. Yes.
I would say
I serve as VP of Education in the club this year. I haven't had that happen to me yet, but there have been questions regarding timing and pathway projects and things like that that are brought up all the time. And so it is up to the VP of Education to discuss and at the end really approve those updates or those changes.
so. I can see where both of you are coming from. Say hello to my cat here. She wants to weigh in her opinion as well. I can see where you're coming from because we have had to make adjustments to unplanned speeches, guest speakers, so on and so forth when it comes to that. Organizing the agenda is one of those skills that we learn. However, the official answer here is no. A speaker cannot request a different time for one of their objective speeches. Now, if this is just a speech they're giving, say, to practice speaking to the VP of operations, or if they're practicing, I don't know, their proposal for somebody, obviously we can make changes there. But if it is a project-related speech, the official answer is no. One of the lessons to be practiced in speech training is that expressing a thought within a certain time. So if it is a pathway speech, we are not allowed to change those speech requirements. But again, I've seen all of the changes for particular speeches, like I have to give a 20-minute speech for this other club, or can we do this? And as VPE, we try and find a way to make it work. But that's what they tell me to say. Can the Vice President of Education refuse to approve a member's level or path completion if they believe the member could have performed better? I'll leave this open.
I'm gonna say no. I mean, I think it's a matter of whether they did it or not, but not how well they did it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. If the member did the work, it doesn't matter how the VPE feels that member performed, they did the work. So that is, I believe the answer to that is also false.
Both are correct. You cannot, well, I guess the best way to phrase it is how they have it here. The Toastmasters program is self-motivated and self-paced. The member chooses not to do their best when completing projects. That's their choice. Although we can certainly encourage them to do better, we don't have the authority to refuse or to approve the level or the path completion, which is great for all of us who've maybe had a not so good speech and people have seen us do better, but still we put the work in and we did the project. Focus on a club question here. If a member's speech went over time, can the members still be included when the club votes for best speaker of the meeting?
Well, in our club, I know that if a speaker goes over time, to 30 seconds over time, they're automatically, yes, they can't, they're not qualified or unqualified to be voted on for their speech.
That's the same way we, oh, go ahead, Greg.
No, sorry, go ahead, Paige.
I was just going to say that's the same way that we run it in Rax Toastmasters. We try and follow those rules.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a hard rule though, but that's just how we've always done it. So, yeah.
I will say I think that the member can still be included in the club votes because something like that will depend on club norms and practices as well.
Craig, you cheated and read the answer.
I did not. I know things.
Some clubs vote for best speaker of their meeting or most improved, but not all clubs choose to recognize members in this way. And because it's optional, each club is free to set its own requirement for this award. However, the awards and the rules when you're in competition are completely different. And since this is a localized club issue, you don't have to follow competition rules if you don't want to. Can guests to the club participate in voting for best table topics?
In our club, they do.
Again, it's localized.
Okay.
So whatever you want to do, you can do it. Because it's not, for all that we love those awards, and I used to have them on my desk back when I had a desk where I could show things to people. As much as we love to show those awards, they don't mean anything on the national Toastmasters level, like it would if you were in a competition matter. Though it does, of course, mean a lot to the people who win them and also the people who are competing with each other over who has the most. Which is not at all what I did with some of my fellow members. Not at all. Did it skip? Yeah, you did. Okay. So let's talk about using the resources. There are quite a few resources for us to use when you need to answer some of these questions. Sometimes somebody will come up with something that you're not used to as a club mentor, and you will have to do your research. Also, it's important, even if you do have the answers, you want to empower the new club and its members to find answers on their own. Help the questioners find answers in the appropriate resource. So maybe don't tell the man how to fish, but teach him how to teach himself. You can help club officers become independent and familiarize them with the Toastmasters International website, www.toastmasters.org. You can encourage them to use the website to get information on the following: club's progress in the DCP, Distinguished Club Program, downloadable forms and documents. They can learn how to perform administrative tasks like submitting a new member application, dues or renewals, or education awards. Current and back issues of the leader letter are also able to supplement information with lessons from your own experiences. By doing this and enabling everybody in the club to find the answers that they're looking for, you're answering the current question and providing a resource to help members answer future questions for themselves and others. And I will add in here, you are also helping to create future mentors because they will soon have all the answers or know where to find them as well. So what are your official duties as a mentor? You need to ensure that the club is strong and fully functional, and you need to confirm officers understand their duties and have the tools they need to perform them. As a mentor, you will provide insights such as how officers' actions or inactions affect every member and the club as a whole. For example, what are some consequences of not submitting membership applications and/or dues? A new member doesn't receive access to education materials. Members may be ineligible to serve as a club officer. They could be ineligible to participate in speech contests, or your club may be ineligible for distinguished club program recognition. Also, members won't be able to access the education materials that they paid for on Basecamp. See, actions, consequences. Club's choice. Another of your responsibilities as a mentor is to identify options that clubs have regarding meetings and customs. For example, clubs have the option to have an invocation, recite the pledge to the flag or a patriotic oath, and or to provide best of meeting awards. For example, the best of speaker awards we spoke about, best table topics, best evaluator, etc. While you need to identify these types of options, let the club decide for itself whether to include any optional elements in the meetings. For example, this whole group said that we have clubs that like to honor the best speech and enjoy a little bit of competition, bragging rights, free promotion at your work desk, or just some encouragement for people as they get best speech, best table topics, etc. However, some clubs may not want to do it. As a mentor, you can't let what your traditions are in your club impact how another club may want to create their culture or their traditions. However, we do want to make sure that we are upholding the club to a standard of quality. One of the deciding factors of a club's success is the value of club meetings. People join Toastmasters because they have a goal. They want to learn something. However, if the learning environment is stale or routine, they'll go elsewhere. This is why club meetings need to be focused and fun. The backbone of successful meetings is preparation. Teach the VPE, the Vice President of Education, how to plan and produce club meetings. Show the VPE how to find and teach them how to use other tools like the free meeting planning software available from the Toastmasters website. Familiarize the VPE with other programming materials such as Master Your Meetings, which you can find on the website as item 1312, the Better Speaker series, item 269, the Successful Club series, item 289, and the Leadership Excellence series, item 310. Anytime prospective or current members come in contact with an aspect of the Toastmasters Club experience, they form an impression of that club's quality and service. Quality clubs need to create a member service perspective, and the club's criteria for service must reflect the quality and reliability of the Toastmasters program. The best way to teach clubs how to do this is to encourage them to conduct the presentation from the Successful Club series. Make sure that the club knows and applies these quality criteria. Remind them and the club that the same care and attention afforded to guests and potential members should be given to current members. And this is something that really builds into one of my areas of interest, retention. If you treat your new members better than you treat your old members, then there's no incentive for them to stay. That's why we're seeing all those commercials right now with T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T all saying that they have the same promotions for new and old. Nobody likes to feel stale or unwanted. So make sure that you actually celebrate your club members. Make sure that you celebrate all of their achievements and goals. Encourage them to give practice speeches or invite people to see speeches they never would have given before if it hadn't been for Toastmasters. Encourage them to work in an officer role. Encourage them to take on a position in an officer's team. Make sure that you are giving them progress awards and talking about everything that they're doing. We don't want to just celebrate new members. We want to celebrate the progress that our members are having as they continue forward. Build and maintain membership. Every club charters with a minimum of 20 members, which is the number of people needed to support a Toastmasters club. As a mentor, you are responsible for teaching the club how to maintain at least 20 people. Let the club know that maintaining a 20-member minimum helps ensure that officer and committee roles are filled, speaking, leadership, and evaluation opportunities are taken, and members are not overburdened with serving in multiple roles. Likewise, fostering a membership building culture within the new clubs you mentor will help them combat the natural attrition caused when people's jobs, residences, or lifestyles change. And this is a very good example for actually my home club, RaxTM. At one point, it did get down to just 3 people, and those 3 people took on every role they possibly could in every meeting. And they practiced giving speeches, giving table topics back and forth, and their dedication and reaching out to people helped to build it back up. But you don't want them to have to do that. The club would have ended if that went on for too many years. And that's why it's so important. And that's why I'm so proud of them for thriving right now, because they have more members and they have people who still come back even after they leave their role. When they have an open meeting, they have people who still remember the club fondly and who are taking what they learned and going out and chartering new clubs. You won't have that sort of dedication or interest in Toastmasters if you don't build and maintain your member base. Craig, do you have anything to add there, since I know that you were part of that?
No, you summed it up quite nicely. It's hard to get back from there. So try not to get there in the first place.
That's the trick. So we don't really need to talk about the benefits of building a membership. Obviously, if you have choices, you will have the option for the club to vote on the strongest leadership base. Somebody who actually wants to do it could actually reach out and do that. You'll have original personalities and ideas, so you won't have the same people giving speeches, the same speeches over and over again, which leads to an interesting and a fun club meeting. Some ways that you can build and maintain membership. There's the option for a club membership contest, online membership building resources, and Success 101. The VP of membership's job is to promote the club and manage the process of bringing in guests and transforming them into members. Encourage the VPM to develop and implement a club-sponsored membership contest to run the duration of their term. Show the VPM how to find the free online membership building resources at www.toastmasters.org/membership building. This framework will help the VPM to organize and track the club-based membership building program. Another free online publication that you should mention to new VPMs is Success 101, item 1622. This is a useful brochure for outlining ideas for attracting and retaining members and achieving club success. I'm going to add on to this and point out that there are many ways you can do this. You can have an official VPM managed club membership contest, or you can have, again, once you get to know the people in your club, you can have those little competitions between people to see who can bring the most people in. We had one member of our club who was just known for, if you ran into him in the hallway, he talked to you about Toastmasters, and he brought so many people in. There was another person, possibly me, who bullied many of her teammates into at least trying it, and it led to a few different members that were on there. Also, talking about it with leadership if you're a corporate club, or even if you're not, talking about it with anybody who's in a leadership position in your city. If you're lucky enough to be in a small city where you can interface with your city leaders often, like the mayor or anybody who works at that office, you can mention this. You can get them to come and give guest speeches, which then draws crowds, and they can maybe get intrigued by what you're doing. We did that at my club as well. We had our CEO come and 50 people showed up, and that was not the normal size at all. And that actually had a few new members and people who were interested in joining. So try and be creative. Think about what you can do and how you can partner with your VP of membership and leverage your own resources as a mentor to help come up with ways that fit the culture of your club and that will really attract the sort of members that you want to have. Other ways you can work on this. You can have annual individual member sponsors. There's the Smedley Award, Talk Up Toastmasters, and Beat the Clock. Toastmasters International conducts several membership building contests throughout the year. Suggests that the new club have special pushes during their membership contest to coincide with Toastmasters sponsored contests. Show them how to find the membership building contest page on Toastmasters International's website, located at www.toastmasters.org/membership building. These contests include the annual individual member sponsors, July 1st through June 30th, the Smedley Award, August 1st through September 30th, Talk Up Toastmasters, February 1st through March 31st, and Beat the Clock, May 1st through June 30th. Club-sponsored membership contests are tools the club can use to support these membership building contests run by Toastmasters International. Why is this important for your club? Sometimes you don't have a lot of funding. Obviously, we are a nonprofit organization. The Smedley Award and some other awards offer you monetary in the form of club bucks, ways that you can help enhance the experience of your club as well. So while membership and driving membership is always very important, it's also to pay attention to and make sure that you're focusing on the time periods that these contests happen, because you can get some resources that can help your club, like if you need a new flag, or if you really wanted to have some prizes for competitions that you're having at your own club level. These district bucks or any of the monetary incentives that come in from Toastmasters International is a great way for you to help improve your club experience and also maintain your current members. Again, livening things up, making it different, and keeping it interesting. Benefits of promotional strategies. Obviously, you attract new members. The club works more efficiently and current members are informed and interested. You as a club mentor are responsible for coaching the Vice President of Membership and the Vice President of Public Relations regarding the importance of devising customized promotional strategies for attracting members to the club. For example, if the club is affiliated with a specific company or group, the membership building strategies are going to be different from those in a community. One way that you can help the club decide on strategies is to facilitate a brainstorming session with the whole club. And this could also be a great table topics option as well. We've done stuff like this in my club. All right, you have your table topics time period to pitch me on a way that we can grow members. And you go around and you have people do that. And then you bring up some of the common problems that you're having. Like people say that they don't have time to come into meetings. People say that their boss doesn't look highly on them going to Toastmasters because they don't know what it is, or whatever your specific problems are as officers and what you've sat around on that table during your officer meetings and they're going back and forth and you as a mentor are watching them get stuck on the same places, turn it into a table topics, crowdsource your ideas, see what your members actually want. And that's a great way for you to, again, get them more engaged, help them to see the importance of going out and recruiting new members. And also you'll get some answers that you may not have thought about. A simple promotional strategy is a club website or a club Facebook page. Both will attract new members, help the club operate more efficiently, and keep current members informed and interested. Obviously, that is a big point here. I would actually encourage any of you who are looking to set up a website to use www.toastmasters.org because they have a web page that is designed specifically for Toastmasters clubs anywhere in the world. And they have easy to use templates. So if you're not great at web design or you don't have a web designer in your club repertoire, this is a good way for you to get something out there and to really help promote yourself. The Facebook pages are great as well. You can make them private so that only members can come in, or you can make certain things public so that you can have that news gathering and maybe it'll pop up thanks to the algorithms on the feed. These are just other ways that you can decide as a club what fits your culture best and how you want to run things moving forward. Member retention. We've touched on all of this, so I'm not going to read these out here. It's important for you to have people who not only come into your club, but stay in your club. The worst thing possible is for you to go through a membership recruiting phase and have 25 people in your club and everything's great. But then when it comes time for due renewals, nobody's picking up the phone, nobody's responding, and nobody wants to come back. It's not going to be encouraging for any of the people who do stick around in the club. It's not encouraging for the officers. And it also shows that you weren't doing your job as officers and mentors throughout the year. You shouldn't have to wonder about if all of your members will come back because you should be having conversations with them, speaking to their mentors who are mentoring the members on their own, and also listening to your club and understanding what they want. What do they get out of this? What's important? Why do you keep coming back? Or maybe, why did you leave? If somebody leaves and you can't get them back to come to a meeting, it might be helpful to have a survey and say, hey, where did we fail you? Let us know, and then we can change that in the future. Make sure that you are constantly engaging with your member base so that you can retain your members and grow as a club. Another important part here is the Distinguished Club Program. The DCP is a tool clubs can use to keep themselves on track and focused on providing members with the service and environment they need to achieve their goals. The following are highlights that the club's mentor will need to understand in order to make the best use of the DCP. Make sure that your officers know where to find the club success plan and the DCP program on the Toastmasters website. Ensure the club knows how to use the club success plan and actually understand it and not just fill it out. As already discussed, planning is foundation of progress for a club, and the club success plan is a club's ultimate success planning tool. Show the new club how the plan does the following: helping to determine how they meet the DCP goals, which is a big bragging rights and also a good way to make sure your club is on track. It allows your club to establish additional goals and outline strategies for achieving those goals, and it helps identify resources your clubs can use to accomplish those. This is a great way for you to make sure that your club is healthy, that you're supporting your club, and that you're also representing your district and your region properly. I left a little bit of time for Q&A. Obviously, it's just the two of you, but I'd love to hear your feedback. Is there anything that you think I missed about when it comes to talking about club mentoring?
Well, for this year, I just want to add for club mentoring, you talked about retention and promotions. And I just want to mention that this year we're doing a promotion called the Win Back Award. And we were going to look at people who can bring back reinstated members to their clubs. And when we get to April around convention time, then we're going to give out lots of awards for clubs that brought members back.
That's awesome. And that's a great chance for you to use that feedback form. Why did you leave? What can we do to get you back? What do you miss? Jose, anything you'd like to add?
So I have a question about timelines, and forgive me, I don't remember if you covered this, but under the traditional program, the old program, when I was a club mentor, I believe the commitment was 6 months. But I don't remember if that was written somewhere or that's just what we decided with the club. Do you know? Do you remember? And I don't know if it matters if it's under the old program or before Pathways or now with Pathways. What is the time commitment? Is it still 6 months? Is it every week for 6 months, or you know?
It's still 6 months. The mechanism to hold you accountable is that one of the club officers have to sign off
Right.
on your request. So it's not like you can show up every 2 or 3 weeks and kind of fly in, fly out. But yeah, that's the mechanism, and it's up to the individual club officers whether or not to go ahead and sign off on that mentorship.
Also, one recommendation that I would have, and of course, this depends entirely on the availability of mentors. But when I was a club mentor, I served with another clubmate so they were both of us were club mentors. And what that did is that we were able to alternate attending meetings through the club that we mentor. And that way we ensure that at every meeting for 6 months, there was at least one of us there. And that helped a lot with the load, having to attend that meeting the club meeting every week, because it gets hard, right? We all have day jobs and we have to drive to we have our own club meetings. And so if possible, if there's enough mentors around, I would suggest maybe try have two mentors at the same time.
That's a great-
That's typically my goal, is to have 2 mentors per club. So
It's also required for a new club, it says.
Yes.
So brand new clubs, you have to have 2. But if you're coming in to help, sorry, Craig, I cut you off. But if you're coming in to help somebody who maybe just needs to get back on track or something like that, I would agree that's great, because it is a giant time commitment. But it's valuable, but it takes time.
Yeah, that's club coaching, and that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, club coaching, yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, no, this is for new clubs, right? For newly formed clubs. Yeah. So, but no, I would just say that for the club that we mentor at the time, we got feedback from some of the new members, and it was very positive, and so we were very glad that we were there to help this club along. Just having started, and so it was a good feeling at the end that we knew that we were able to. Most of the members were new Toastmasters. There was just like 1 or 2 who had been there before, so it was a good feeling that we were able to help them out. So it's a very satisfying role.
It is very rewarding. Couldn't agree more.
And that's a great way for us to end this. It is rewarding in spite of all of the information I just threw at everybody. This is something that is great, and it will help you with your DTM as well. So I will stop the recording.